7 signs of an attractive older man that women notice. There's a quiet confidence that surrounds an attractive older man, one that doesn't beg for attention but still commands it. Women, especially those who have grown past the superficial checklist of youth, notice different things as they mature. It's not just about a chiseled jawline or how much money he makes. It's deeper, subtler, and rooted in how he shows up in the world. In this video, we'll explore 7 distinct signs of an attractive older man that women instantly pick up on, even if they don't always say it out loud. These are the quiet traits that stir curiosity, respect, and yes, desire. If you're an older man wondering what truly draws a woman in, listen closely. Because it's not about pretending to be young again. It's about stepping fully into the kind of man who ages like fine wine. Number 1. He's comfortable in his own skin. Attractive older men no longer feel the need to prove themselves. They've lived, they've failed, they've succeeded, and they carry those experiences not as baggage but as seasoning. This kind of man doesn't chase validation. He's not trying to impress with bravado or flash. He wears what he wants, walks into a room without scanning for approval, and doesn't flinch when silence lingers. That comfort is magnetic. Women notice when a man is fully at home with who he is, even if he's got a few extra pounds or wrinkles. It's not about looking perfect. It's about owning every inch of who you are. That self-assured presence, that unshakable sense of self, speaks louder than words. And when a woman sees that, she feels safe, intrigued, and drawn in. It tells her this man isn't trying to be someone else. He already knows who he is. Number 2. He listens more than he speaks. In a world where everyone is shouting to be heard, an older man who listens stands out like a lighthouse in a storm. Attractive older men understand the power of presence, not the kind that talks over others, but the kind that pays attention. He listens not to reply, but to understand. He doesn't interrupt, doesn't rush to offer solutions unless asked, and doesn't make conversations about himself. Women notice this immediately. It tells them he's emotionally available, emotionally intelligent, and most importantly, interested in her as a person. That quiet patience shows maturity. A man who listens deeply makes a woman feel seen, and feeling seen is the first doorway to emotional and physical intimacy. It's not flashy, but it's unforgettable. Number 3. He has depth, not just opinions. Attractive older men aren't just a collection of facts, politics, or recycled wisdom. They have stories, introspection, and the ability to reflect. Women are incredibly tuned into emotional depth. A man who's seen pain and beauty and can talk about them without bitterness or ego signals emotional richness. It means he hasn't let life harden him. He might talk about the lessons from a failed marriage, or how a book changed his worldview, or how he still wrestles with certain parts of himself, but not in a way that drains the room. He shares from a place of growth. That's intoxicating. To a woman, this means emotional safety and the promise of real connection, not just surface-level small talk. Depth isn't about being perfect. It's about being real, layered, and able to meet her where she is emotionally. Number 4. He exudes subtle strength, not forceful control. You can spot it in his posture, in his calm response to stress, and in how he carries conflict. Not with panic, but with grounded presence. Women notice when an older man doesn't have to raise his voice to be heard. When he can set boundaries without threats. When he leads not through domination, but through steadiness. This kind of strength, subtle, quiet, and unshakable, is deeply attractive. It tells a woman that this man can handle life, and more importantly, handle her emotions without trying to fix or flee from them. Force is cheap. Strength is rare. And older men who have developed this inner stillness, who've tempered their fire into focused warmth, are incredibly attractive to women who are tired of games and chaos. Number 5. He takes care of himself without vanity. There's a difference between obsessing over looks and valuing health and dignity. Attractive older men aren't chasing youth. They're honoring their bodies and appearance in a way that reflects self-respect. Maybe he works out, not to get a six-pack, but to stay vital. Maybe he dresses well, not to show off, but because he appreciates craftsmanship and feeling good in his clothes. He may wear cologne, keep his beard neat, or take pride in his grooming, not to impress others, but because it makes him feel aligned with himself. Women pick up on this immediately. It's not about being flashy or trendy, it's about intention. An older man who respects himself physically sends a powerful signal. I still care. I still have desire. I still show up for life. That's sexy. Not because of how he looks, but because of what it says about how he lives. Number 6. He's mentally curious and emotionally awake. There's nothing more dull than a man who's shut his mind off to the world. But when a woman meets an older man who's still learning, still questioning, still growing, she sees someone alive. Attractive older men don't act like they know it all. They ask questions. They engage in new ideas. They aren't afraid to say, "I was wrong," or "I'm learning." That humility, mixed with life experience, is incredibly magnetic. Women are drawn to men who aren't stuck in the past, who don't mock the new, but instead remain students of life. And emotionally, they're awake. They understand the difference between reacting and responding. They know how to hold space for another person's feelings. They're not emotionally frozen or dismissive. This kind of awareness creates emotional intimacy, and for many women, that's where true attraction begins. Number 7. He doesn't chase. He attracts. This is perhaps the most powerful trait of all. Attractive older men do not chase women. They don't play games. They know their value, and they allow women to come to them when there's mutual interest. This doesn't mean they're passive, but they're not desperate. They don't text back instantly just to please. They don't beg for attention, and they don't perform. They flirt when they want to. They express interest directly, and if it's not returned, they move on without resentment. This creates an aura of dignity, and women feel it. It makes a woman lean in and wonder what's different about him. Because he's not trying to win her, he's inviting her. That distinction makes all the difference. And in a world full of men trying to be impressive, the older man who stands firm in his peace is the one she remembers. So, what does all this mean? Attractiveness in older men isn't accidental. It's the result of years lived with awareness, integrity, and evolution. Women notice these things not because they're flashy, but because they're rare. In your older years, your presence becomes your most powerful tool. Your calm, your confidence, your curiosity. These are the traits that linger long after you leave the room. You don't need to chase youth. You need to embody wisdom, grace, and quiet strength. That's the kind of man who doesn't just attract a woman, he captivates her. So if you're aging, don't fear it. Embrace it. Because the older man who truly sees himself is the one every conscious woman is hoping to find.